Welcome to Readmio. It's a brand new way of reading to children.
Mio's classical music lesson. The pupils in Year 2 look forward to every music lesson. It's their chance to learn about musical instruments, hear new songs, and even discover the different cultures of the world. So when the teacher came into the classroom on Monday, carrying a Bluetooth speaker, the atmosphere was filled with excited murmurings. Mio the elephant even flapped his big ears, eager to find out what they were about to listen to. "Good morning, class," said the teacher. "Today we are starting with a classical music lesson, and I have a full playlist ready for you. Are you curious about what we're going to be focusing on this time?" Everyone cheered. The teacher held up her index finger. "We have already been introduced to a number of musical instruments, so how about learning what can be played on those instruments? Music is a powerful medium. It expresses so much. A skillful composer can write music that imitates nature, or that evokes feelings such as sadness or joy." She switched on the speaker and paired it with her phone. "Now listen to this first piece and tell me what it reminds you of." As soon as she tapped on the song, familiar notes resonated throughout the room. "That's the sound of small birds in the treetops," Natalie called out. "You're correct, Natalie," the teacher said, praising her prompt response. "This piece is called Spring. The composer is Antonio Lucio Vivaldi. He managed to capture the sound of birdsong almost as well as the real thing, didn't he?" Mio honked and aimed his trunk at the window. The teacher laughed. "Yes, Mio, outside it's spring now, and since spring brings good cheer, we'll continue this lesson in a cheerful spirit. Springtime is when animals that have been hibernating all winter come back to life, along with all sorts of insects, flowers, and plants. What creature do these next notes remind you of?" The teacher tapped on the next tune. Mio flicked his ears as if swatting a fly. The children listened for a while, and then understood what the elephant was trying to tell them. Paul was the first to speak. "Teacher, that sounds like a bee. Is it a bumblebee?" "Exactly, Paul," answered the teacher, impressed. "This song is actually called Flight of the Bumblebee, composed by Nikolai Rimsky-Korsakov. And there are still more sounds of nature that composers recreate in the form of sheet music. Just listen." "Oh, that one reminds me of a babbling brook," said Barbara dreamily. "And that's exactly what it is," nodded the teacher enthusiastically. That's how the Czech composer Bedřich Smetana interpreted the sounds of the vault of a river. It starts as a tiny trickle, but over time it becomes a huge gushing roar. And speaking of water, listen to this next piece. It makes me feel quite sad, sighed Micah. Indeed, composers can express sadness through sound too. That's Pyotr Ilyich Tchaikovsky's representation of sorrow. It's a piece from a ballet called Swan Lake, explained the teacher. And what do you think of this next one? It sounds so ominous, Mary blurted out. It was written by the well-known composer Ludwig van Beethoven, right when he was beginning to lose his hearing. Thomas mused. Not being able to hear must have been hard for someone who loves music. Maybe that's why it's entitled Fate, the teacher said. But by no means are all of his songs gloomy. Beethoven also composed Ode to Joy. We'll play that piece at the end of the class. I know that one, cheered Amy, full of anticipation. For the next 20 minutes, the lesson continued, with lots of different music stirring up a mixture of emotions. Somebody in the class always knew or made a good guess at each of the pieces. And the last song they heard was Ode to Joy, just as the teacher had promised. And with such a joyful tune, we shall end for today, announced the teacher. And if you liked this lesson, you can look forward to the next one, because we will be listening to many more enchanting tunes. Although the children were glad about that, they were feeling a little low-spirited now that this series of melodies had come to a stop. But Mio knew how to improve their mood. He raised his trunk towards the ceiling and honked. Well, it was certainly no symphony, but the laughter it caused sounded just as wonderful as the loveliest music.